Alright, welcome back to another episode of Bob's Garage. So we're pretty much near the end here. So all I got left is, I would say, maybe 3 or 4 hours of work. So I'm going to knock it out, try to get as much done tonight as possible. And what I need to do is hang the exhaust, just the catback exhaust. And that way I can figure out and measure the mid-pipe length that I'll need to fabricate. After I hang the exhaust, then next up would be I need to torque down the brake caliper bolts. So the 21mm brake caliper bolts I need to torque down to 140 Newton meters. And then I just need to connect up the ABS and brake pad wear sensors, at which point the wheel wells will be done. Everything in the wheel wells, short of bolting back on the tires, will be done. And then I can just work on the engine bay. So the engine bay is pretty straightforward. I just need to reconnect the ECU and all the cables, clip in and remount the all the wire connectors for all the sensors and stuff that just go on like the bulkhead firewall. And after that, then I just need to screw down and mount the coolant overflow tank and the air intake box and all that good stuff. And then it's just the front clip from there. So we're gonna make this happen. Stay tuned, and we'll make some progress tonight. So we're almost done. We're in the home stretch. Booyah! Alright, so I just wanted to give you a quick overview of what my exhaust setup will look like. So this is my current Miltech catback exhaust. I mentioned it before, but it's got these step-down adapters. I want to say this is 2.5 or so to 2 1/4 or whatever. I don't know. That was put in place to step down the catback to fit directly onto the stock cats. So they just had exhaust clamps on here holding it all on there. And here's the other one. Now, if you look up here, those are my downpipes, and here are the catback. So if I were to put a pipe on here, this is a 2.5 inch inner diameter pipe, which I can actually, so it's flared on one end, not flared on the other. I can fit this pretty much directly on here, and then now the flared end is over here. So as you can see, they don't line up. So what I'm gonna have to do is most likely get some sort of a 45 and then another 45 and get it to bend directly in there. I do want it to line up better, almost directly. I don't want to put too much pressure on these flexes. I went and checked out a local stage 3 APR build that was for sale, and his driver's side flex pipe, well, I guess it's the driver's side downpipe, was leaking at the flex portion, so just over here, and I don't think you can really repair that. So the guy was trying to him and haw about it, and basically I believe you're gonna have to replace the downpipe. So I don't know, whatever. So the less stress on those flex joints, the better, at least in my opinion. So I'm going to need a couple 45s for here, and then if I take this over to here, you can also see how that doesn't line up at all. So same story. I'm going to take a 45, bend it over, and yeah, so I'm going to need, I guess, 4 45-degree angles, 2.5 inch inner diameter 45-degree angles. So I wasn't really expecting to have to do that, but I guess the stock downpipes were bent and turned towards these collectors, so oh well. I guess I'm going to do a little research online and see what other people did with their exhaust and get them. I don't know why, but they don't seem to sell mid pipes. So I'm gonna have to make my own. So there you go. And I'm just about to call it a night here. I'm getting tired and whatever. Couple other things. This trans fluid hose, I connected that as well as this hose here. So these two hoses I connected to the back of the where's it at? Back of the transmission cooler. So that bolt there holds both of them in, and those are the lines there. So those are the lines that, well, one of them, but essentially those are the lines that run to the radiator. So this one plugs into the radiator, this one goes to the radiator. This little keeper that bolts to the front radiator portion or assembly. So I got that in place. I still did not try to crack the transmission fill plug just to see if that's seized or if I'll be able to get that off. I do have the bit. I ordered the bit. I guess I should probably try to see if that bit fits the fill plug. One other thing that I'm going to look into tomorrow at the dealer is I think I need to replace this, sorry that's not focusing, this clip. So you can see up here, this is the upper radiator hose. Now when you lock this, you can see how the pin goes comes in the inside of the hose on both sides, and the pin, it's going to be hard to get this to focus. The pin essentially locks into this little plastic portion. It does it on both sides. This one, when I popped this pin free to remove the radiator, when I popped it free, the pin completely, or the little C-clip completely came off. It ripped off. So right now you can see it's essentially in the locked portion, but you can see the keep on the inside here, but you can't see it up here. And you can see how it locked in here correctly, or at least presumably correctly, but it's not doing it up here. So last time I worked on the car and I drained the coolant, I was having problems getting this hose to stay connected to the radiator. It was essentially blowing off. It kept popping off. I must have popped off 2 or 3 times before I finally got it to lock in or whatever. I'm kind of thinking that this clip has been bad for a while, and it's only been that the bottom portion has only been locking instead of the bottom and the top. So I'm going to hit the dealer tomorrow, see if they got a new one of these clips. I know they sell them online. I had come across them before because I thought the clip was bad. They're only a few bucks, but it's just another setback. And so I need to get on that immediately. I'm hoping the dealer will have something like that. So all that's left are to hook up my charge pipes, and over here I completely removed this one that's on this side. Now I got another problem or issue here. I got some fluid leaking directly underneath the power steering pump, and I'm not exactly sure where it's coming from. You know, the bottom underneath of the throttle body is saturated. You can see that connector down in there is saturated too. I'm wondering if it's all the oil that's been making it all the way up in here, if it's basically getting in here and then leaking out of the throttle body. So if this is oil, I mean it's you can kind of see how it's coming all the way down here. It's just below and on the alternator a little bit, and it's annoying as hell. So when I did the timing cover change, or the timing belt job, all these panels and pieces were cleaned up, and this is what it looks like already. So I'm not happy about that, but I gotta get this damn car back together. So I'm gonna have to play with this some other time or something. I don't know, maybe I'll rip the throttle body off, try to figure out if there's a leak. Maybe there's like I said, I'm not sure if oil's leaking in there. The this valley area down underneath looks fine. I mean, it looks bone dry. So it's either the power steering pump is leaking out somewhere. I mean, I just got like oil in the weirdest places. I mean, it's here, but nowhere else. So I don't know if you can see there's oil in my the little pipe that comes out of the bottom of the diverter valve. So I don't know if oil's just blowing out of all the charge pipes and spots or what, but it's pissing me off. So alright, so stay tuned, and so tomorrow I'm gonna hit up the dealer first thing, get that clip, or figure out where to source one of those clips. Otherwise I don't think that hose is gonna stay on the radiator. What else? And then oh, I gotta get those 45-degree angles for the exhaust, and that should do it. I already have coolant, I already have power steering fluid, and yeah, I think I already hooked up the power steering reservoir here. So yeah, everything should be set. So I mean, there's not much left here. I'm tempted to stay up for another couple hours and just bang this out, but I don't know, I'm tired. So good night, everybody. Stay tuned for more.